Hello everybody out there, welcome to the table. Today we're taking a look at a new knife from Boker Plus. So this right here is the Boker Plus S-Rail. And so the S-Rail here is designed as a retractable utility knife. And I really appreciate what Boker Plus is doing here. Boker Plus as a brand does not get a lot of fanfare out there, but they do continue to bring out some interesting designs from time to time, and I like to kind of recognize that. So this one right here kind of caught my attention for a few different reasons, and so we can take a look at this really kind of a unique design for a pocket knife. So as it is designed as a retractable utility knife, we can see we have a overall kind of a small size here, but it's meant to be very lightweight, very unassuming with this razor blade style blade on it. So we can see it retracts into this handle. It lays very flat. It's very flush in design. And so let's take a look at the overall size of the knife once it's fully extended, because it is a small knife overall. So let's hold it up next to the ruler right here, and we can see our cutting edge is less than 2 inches long. And the overall length is coming in pretty much right at 5 inches in length. We can see the width of the blade is less than 1 inch wide. And so the overall profile, again, of the knife is very small. Even the weight of the knife is pretty small. It weighs in at less than 1 ounce. So a little bit less than that when you have the pocket clip on here. So pretty impressive overall. If you're looking for something small, something diminutive to carry in your pocket, to put on your keychain. So really, what is the purpose of a knife like this, a knife of this size? And so I have a few different ideas here. And of course, one of them being, it is a utility style blade. So there's no sharp tip to it. It's rounded up here. And we have a D2 steel blade, less than 2 inches long, so that's going to make it very inconspicuous if you want to keep a sharpened blade on you at all times. So that's kind of nice. But we're really, again, what makes it kind of special is this deployment system we have here. You can see there's a push button right there on a spring. So you press that in, and it releases the blade along this rail in the back. And so there are a couple of rails here, and of course the name of the design is the Boker Plus S-Rail. And so we can see the rail in the back, it slides. There's a half stop here. If you only need a small amount of blade, you could let it lock here and you're totally secure. But if you do want the full 2 inches of blade, you bring it all the way out by pressing this in and moving it back and forth. And these two little screws right here serve as a guide for this cutout on the blade. And again, I think that's where it gets its name, S-Rail. So we see that sliding action there. And it's all manual, nothing is automatic, very much a purpose-built tool, something you have to consciously want to put to use. So you bring it out just like that, the blade locks into place, and you are secure. So there is a little bit of play when it's in the open position, but I think it's kind of what I would come to expect with a knife of this style and design and thinness. Because again, you can just see how the profile of this knife, super lightweight. And so once it's in your hand, I imagine it'll cut just fine. The blade is nice and sharp out of the box. But when you have the blade closed, you might worry about there being an exposed edge, but they designed it pretty cleverly. And you can't really tell in pictures, even in video. But when you have this knife open, let me kind of show you back here. You'll see on this G10 scale, there is a slight lip right here on the edge. So there's a definite lip there. And that keeps that sharpened edge completely covered when it's retracted. So if you keep this knife in your pocket, on your keychain, you don't have to worry about this sharpened edge touching anything important, because there's always going to be that ridge of G10 to protect you. So it's a pretty smart design, because in photos it just looks like you have a sharpened edge hanging out here, and that's really not the case. But this D2 steel blade, we can see it's a nice satin finish. We have the Boker Plus logo right here, as well as a serial number, so 1711 on this one. And so that just shows how many were produced in this case. So this is 1711 of the run of however many they made. But again, really simple design, something I kind of like, and it really reminded me of another Boker Plus design that I have right here on the table. So this right here is the Boker Plus Slike. So again, look at the same push button mechanism. And this blade, of course, also slides out locks into place. Very different, stylish design. This is meant to be more of a dagger shape, but you can see the actual mechanism is very, very similar. Similar G10 scale, except of course this one has the fully exposed blade and this one fully retracts because it is double-edged in design. So again, same idea, same design here, but they took it for more of a utility style blade. On the back, we do have a deep carry pocket clip. So you can see that right there. So you can definitely carry this around with you. You can also take off the clip, and there is a lanyard option right here in the back, which I think is a pretty good idea if you want to keep this on a keychain, because for a knife of this size, of this weight, I think it would make a really good use case for that, to use in that option. Also, they make this pocket clip nice and wide because it says in their literature that you could use the knife as a, what is it called? A money clip. So if you like to keep your money on a money clip, I don't really do that typically, but I mean, that is something you could do. You can put your money here. You can put your various cards on the clip here, and I think you'll be able to carry those around relatively securely. That's not something I typically do, but I did take the pocket clip on and off. It comes off really easily, no problem there. Kind of nice, they included some steel cutouts here on the G10, so you're not screwing directly into the G10 material. You have these two steel screw holes, so you can get a secure clip onto this knife, so that's kind of nice. But it does make a good use case, in my opinion, for putting on a keychain, being that it weighs less than 1 ounce. Because typically, when I put my keychain knife on my keys here, like for right now, I have this Spyderco Jester, and we can see it kind of fills that same kind of stylish size requirement. It's even thinner than the Jester. The Jester does weigh a little bit less, but, in terms of an overall size of the knife, we can see they are kind of similar there. So just a small keychain style carry, and once you put a little magnetic keychain fob on there, I think it would be an easy knife to carry around with you just because it's so thin and diminutive. And that was entirely their style choice there. But in terms of comparing it to other knives, what I always think of when it comes to a knife of this size are our California legal automatics that also have a 2-inch blade. So this right here is the Kershaw Launch 4, maybe? I forget which one that one is. But side by side, you can see the size comparison there. 2-inch blades, very small, about 5 inches overall in size. And we can also just get the slike fully out here as well. This gives you an idea of the family resemblance. But with a small knife like this, I mean, I think what they did here, they gave us a D2 steel blade, something we can resharpen, reuse, and carry. I think the prices they're asking for this is a little bit excessive. These come in around $60. And for the price, it's a quality piece, but there's not a lot to it for what you're paying. And so this is really going to be a purpose-built knife. If you need this in your life, you'll have no problem buying it and carrying it. But for somebody like me who's just kind of semi-curious about this type of knife, there may be better options for you out there, other keychain style knives that work better for you. So think about what you are purchasing before you do. I don't see any flaws or any issues with the knife. I think it's pretty well designed, but it's going to be something that's either useful to you or maybe not. But either way, I just kind of wanted to share my first thoughts and opinions. This is the Boker Plus S-Rail one more time. So Boker Plus S-Rail Black, designed in Germany, made in China, and that is what we have here today. So if you have any questions, feel free to drop a comment below. I'd love to hear your thoughts and opinions on the knife, but I hope you all have a knife day, and we will see you later. Bye-bye.